February, week 1. Language, 3rd grade. And it's lesson 2 because we had a lesson, but it's actually, I'm going to say lesson 1. Okay? Because this counts for your language 1. And we're writing informatory, explanatory texts. There are 3 purposes why authors write: to entertain, to inform, and to persuade. And obviously this one is going to be to inform you about stuff. Gives you information. On the very first page, it says, what is an informative explanatory text? Skip all this and go to here. The introduction tells your reader what you're writing about. The introduction is interesting, and we've called that a grabber, right? It also grabs the reader's attention and states the topic. The body. The body includes details and supports the topic. It provides facts, details, and explanations. The conclusion. The conclusion is satisfying and sums up your text in a memorable way. I like to say the conclusion kicks, right? Like a soccer ball, kicks it right back up to the introduction. Because you do need to kind of touch on your introduction again, okay? To just kind of let it help stick in somebody's mind. So that's just imagine a kick with the conclusion. This is a mentor text. Roman arches. The ancient Romans are famous for their architecture. Topic. The writer gets the reader's attention in the introduction. The writer also states the topic, the Roman arch. Draw a box around the topic sentence.
Are the ancient Romans famous for their architecture?
Yeah, and I'm thinking shall we include the title maybe?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It says circle. It doesn't say box it.
Oh, I boxed it. Architecture is the art and science of making buildings. Roman buildings were very sturdy because they were constructed using the simple shape of a curved arch. An arch is the shape of a half circle. The Romans were among the first people to use arches in buildings. Now we're going to go to the second paragraph. By the way, what did you think of that first sentence? It was decent, yeah. It had a little bit of grabby because it mentioned the word famous. Leif, we are in a lesson. And that's a very loud noise.
I didn't even know that.
Okay. All right. Because arches were strong and attractive, they could be used to design graceful buildings. The Romans used cut stone and concrete to make their arches. They created a type of concrete that was very strong, and it dried quickly too. We still use the basic recipe for concrete that they do. The main ingredient the secret is lime, because the lime reacts with water, which makes the concrete get all mushy, but then it hardens. No, limestone.
Oh.
Limestone.
Ooh, limestone's most common for processing.
Yeah, and limestone is a little bit base, which means has salts in it, and that reacts. Water, by the way, is a teeny bit acidic, and so the base in the limestone reacts with the teeny bit of acidity in the water, creates that wonderful, I don't know if you guys have ever watched what happens when you mix water with dry concrete. Yeah, you should see almost like bubbling and a little bit of steam coming out, and that's that reaction. Yeah, Griffin.
Is shale like limestone?
Shale is sedimentary, which makes it similar to limestone. They're both sedimentary, so that you could say they're cousins. Shale does not have that base in it that limestone does, so it's not going to react with water. Shale sheds water, which is great. You can use shale for roofs. It's wonderful because you can get it super thin. Slate is even better. Slate is shale that's been metamorphosed, so it's a little bit more durable, and you can find it even in thinner pieces. But if you can't afford slate, you can use shale. Okay. In addition, arches were very useful. In earlier times, most entrances to buildings were made of 2 posts with a large stone laid across the top. However, the stone cracked if it was too heavy. Arches were made with smaller and lighter stones that fit together. Now here's the interesting part, you gotta listen. Furthermore, the curved shape of the arch spread the weight of the stones so no part was too heavy. Therefore, the arch did not break. Let me tell you something. As you put more stuff on top of the arch, above here, all it does is make the arch stronger.
Whoa.
Yeah, the more stuff you put above it, the more it forces these stones to tighten up and lock up together. They're pushing on each other.
Wouldn't
So,
that try to make it heavier than have roofs?
well, up to a point. Obviously, if you put 10,000 tons on there, it would collapse. But basically, this arch is not as strong as it could be. If you put more rock above it, it's going to push it, and those are going to lock tighter and tighter and tighter together. And the arch gets stronger. It's pretty
If you
cool.
put too much on, they're going to be so tight that they're just going to crack.
One of them might crack. Supporting details. The writer uses details in the second and third paragraphs that support the topic sentence. Underline the explanations, details, or facts in these paragraphs. Okay, somebody. Gideon, do sit up, please. Somebody tell me a nice detail or explanation that you found in the second or third paragraph. Gage.
Because arches were strong and they could be used for design for the building.
Because arches were strong and attractive, they could be used to design graceful buildings. Anybody else? Gideon.
Arch was the shape of a half circle.
Where'd you find that one?
Oh.
Up in the top?
Yeah.
But you're right, that is a cool detail, but it's in the top paragraph. So they wanted us to pick it from the second or third one.
Romans used stone to make their arches.
Ooh, yeah, I love that one. Where is that one?
It's right on the stick.
Oh, yeah, I see it. The Romans used cut stone and concrete to make their arches. Okay, let's do one from the third paragraph. Silas.
In addition, arches were very useful.
Well, that's a sort of more of a main idea. Give me a more of a detail or explanation.
The curved shape of the old spread the weight of the stones.
Ooh, is that a good detail?
Yes.
Yes. Can we keep going? So no part was too heavy?
Yeah.
Okay. Super quick, I have a book and I know you guys looked at it. This one. So this is what buildings look like before the arch. You can see that the entrances could not be very wide. They could be tall, right? But not very wide. Only a couple people could fit through there because if this gets too wide across, it's going to crack from the weight. Along came the arch, and how you build it is you use a wooden form, put it there, then you put the rocks, then you put concrete, then you can take that form out, and they're just going to stay because they're all pushing on each other. They won't go anywhere. You can add a bunch of rock on top, it stays strong. That's how they built the Colosseum.
Whoa. Oh, I was watching a movie about that. You don't know what I thought it was called a Colosseum.
That's right. If you were an early Christian, this was not a place you wanted to go to.
because they would just get some people in there, and everyone would be like, "Attack! Yeah, do it!" What? Oh, it's painted. What were coliseums for?
They were mainly for fights.
Oh.
They did a lot of fights.
Nice. Romans were known for the fighting.
To make an example of people that, so they felt that Christians were a threat to the empire, which I'm not sure if they were, but they decided to put them to death in front of a bunch of other people, so they would have people in the audience and make it. Now here, this is a useful, this is called an aqueduct. Up here in the top, do you see that very, very top part?
Yeah.
Above those tiny arches, inside the rock is pipe.
Whoa.
And in the pipe is water. They would bring water inside, above the tiny row of arches, this little guys, up there is a pipe with water in it. And then, that's right, it's a triple layer of arches because that's how to make it tall but strong. Also, if you made it out of solid rock and the wind blew on it, it would be pushing on it the whole time, and eventually the thing would fall down. This thing's 2,000 years old and it hasn't fallen down because the wind blows through it.
Oh my.
They would bring the water from the mountains, and of course, mostly the water would just go in a pipe down the mountainside. But when you went over a river, you didn't want to go down and then back up. The water won't go back up, will it? No. So you went across it, across the valley, and that's called an aqueduct. Aqua means water, duct means passage. Okay, so they took the water, and then that's how they got it to the cities. Every time it went over a steep valley, they put it in an aqueduct, and the water just kept going this way, all the way to the city, because they valued cleanliness. We talked about that. The word February, this is the first day of February. The word February means to clean. They named the month after the word clean. They really valued cleanliness. So February means to clean in Latin. And that's why it was very important to them to bring pure water from the mountains to their cities. The Romans used arches to build many buildings and structures. For example, theaters, baths, and bridges were built using the arch. One of the most important structures built with the arch was the aqueduct. Rows of arch after arch made the aqueducts look like big pieces of lace. Aqueducts were bridges that brought water into cities. They were many miles long, stretching from the mountains to the cities around the Roman Empire. Millions of people relied on the aqueducts to get their water. The arch was very important to Roman architecture and was used in structures all across Rome. If you ever go to Rome, you can look for the arches in the ruins of ancient buildings. They give us a hint of how buildings were constructed long ago. Over here it says supporting details. The writer provides more details that support the topic in the fourth paragraph. Underline explanations, details, or facts in this one. So somebody that hasn't had a turn, do you see this big paragraph here? Put your hand up and tell me something. Griffin's had a, Grayson, you haven't had a turn. And Griffin, I'll pick you next.
One of the most important structures built with the arch was the aqueduct.
Okay, one of the most important structures built with the arch was the aqueduct. That would be a detail, right? That's not an explanation, it's a detail. And they did ask for that. Okay, Griffin. One more from this big paragraph.
They were many miles long, stretching from the mountains to the cities around the Roman Empire.
Yeah, they were many miles long, stretching from the mountains to the cities around the Roman Empire. Conclusion. The writer includes satisfying conclusion that briefly sums up the text. What sentence sums up the information? Draw a star next to it.
Big pieces of lace.
No, we want to go to the very last paragraph now. Yes, the first sentence in that paragraph is the conclusion. The other ones are just like, hey, you might see them if you go to Rome. Look for them in the buildings. Those are just cool little kind of suggestions for you. But the sentence that wraps up and kind of goes with the topic sentence is this one. The arch was very important to Roman architecture and was used in structures all across Rome. Put a star next to that sentence, the first sentence in the last paragraph. You can just put a star next to it as well. Now they have a couple of just thought questions they want you to answer out loud, and I do need Gideon to sit up. The first thought question they want to ask is, why do you think the author chose to write about the Roman arch?
Well, because not many people really just actually knew about it.
Yeah, how many of you knew a bunch of stuff about it?
I didn't.
I did.
Silas did, but most of you didn't.
I did.
So
No.
Gideon, you think it was a topic that could be explored and was actually pretty interesting?
Yeah.
Okay. The next question, what did you learn about the Roman arch? Gage,
Put more weight on it. If you put more weight on it, it'll get stronger.
isn't that crazy?
If you put more weight
It is designed to bear weight. It is stronger if there's stuff above it than if it's just there. Pretty crazy. Last question, have you seen such arches anywhere else?
Oh yeah. I've seen arches.
Griffin.
This is what did you learn about the Roman arch? That if you put too much stuff on it, eventually.
If you were to put 100 feet thick of rock above it, it could collapse because it would eventually crack that rock. But you can put a lot. Gideon's going to try and answer the very last question, which is, have you seen such arches anywhere else? Have you?
Like at the, so in Panama, the town hall entranceway.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've never been there, so
absolutely. It doesn't use stone, it uses brick, but that is definitely a good example of an arch. The bricks, yeah, you guys, the bricks even, they fit together and they're pushing on each other. That's a very good example. For me, my example is actually, I'm lucky. My neighbor has a winery and he built the cellar. He built everything out of rock, but the cellar, he built that out of rock and he built an arch. A real Roman arch with rock. Yeah, so it's a very strong wine cellar. Do you two need to be separated? Hello?
Yes.
Because we are recording this lesson. Thank you. Vocab study. We're going to go straight to here. The ruins of ancient city of Rome stretched as far as the eye could see. On the hillside, the remains of a large temple sat under the hot sun. Visitors walked around the marble pillars and snapped pictures with their cameras. The bold words would be defined in a book's glossary. You could also look them up in the dictionary. Okay? Glossary is very nice when a book has a glossary. It's usually at the end of the book, and it's all the difficult words. This book does not have one. This is an index, but not a glossary. Glossary tells you what words mean. Let's see. Ooh, this one has a glossary. Right there, words to know. It doesn't call it a glossary, but it's got one. And I like glossaries because if a book has a glossary, it usually means you don't need to go grab a dictionary.
It had the word limestone in there.
Did it really?
Uh-huh.
Oh. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute, sweetheart. It really had the word limestone. That is so cool. Let's do it. Lime, a white powder that is made by heating limestone. Lime is used in making mortar, cement, concrete, and plaster. Limestone, a rock that is formed from shells and corals at the bottom of the ocean.
Whoa.
Limestone is a good building stone, and it can also be heated to make lime for cement.
That's cool.
So any limestone that we have in America came up, was pushed up from where? The bottom of an ocean. Yeah.
we had limestone in our playground.
Well, do you know in the Marble, the town of Marble,
Oh yeah.
that Marble is metamorphosed limestone. And there's an entire mountain made of it in marble, which means all of that was once at the bottom of the sea. And then it got pushed up to become limestone, right? So it's above water. And then it got heated up and squished a bit more and turned to marble. So that's what marble is. Marble is limestone that got metamorphosed.
So could it still be used as limestone?
No, once it becomes marble, you cannot then use it for limestone.
Wait, can you bring some marble? I have my marble.
Let's go to this dictionary entry. Look at the dictionary entries below. Remain. It's a verb, to stay in the same place. It is also a noun, a part that is left over. Ruin. A building, city, or area that has been destroyed, and that's a noun. But the second, look at the two, it can also be a verb, to destroy or damage beyond repair. So some words can be nouns and verbs, and their meaning changes a teeny bit. Work with your class or a partner to answer the questions below. How many syllables are in the word remain? 2. Remain. And you always look at the vowels for syllables. You always want to look at either a vowel or a vowel team. Okay? Which definition of ruin is used in the passage? So, is it the noun or the verb? The noun. Yes, it said, in the passage, it says, if you ever go to Rome, you can look for arches in the ruins of ancient buildings. As soon as it has a the in front of it, it's a noun. Okay? So we're going to put noun. And that was the first definition for ruin. Look, see the little one? Noun. A building, city, or area that has been destroyed. Okay, next question. How many definitions are given for the word ruin? How many? Two definitions, right? One was a noun, one was a verb. 2 definitions. And number 4. Is ruin used as a noun or a verb in the passage?
Noun.
Noun. If you were reading about Grayson building something absolutely beautiful out of Legos, and then his little sister Lila May runs over and stamps on it, then which definition of ruin would we be using? No. Verb. Because she ruined, her action, right? She ruined
something else.
Construction.
Or it would be a ruin of Legos.
I don't know if Legos can be a ruin.
It would be a ruin of Legos.
I'm pretty sure ruins are always kind of made of. Yeah, I think ruins because. I don't know, that's a good question. I don't know if you could say that Legos could make a ruin.
Cammy?
You guys have left me with a question in my head. But that was a good lesson.
Cammy?